Hello and welcome to a new video. This video is a little bit different as I am talking you through like a speed paint kind of style of my latest artwork that I did for January 2025 on Patreon. So the theme was Bear-ista Coffee Shop, like barista but bear, because it is run by one of my characters from my shop and the mascot of the goodie box tier, Peaches the bear. So she runs the little coffee shop, so all the little cups and everything is bear themed, hence Bear-ista. I know, I'm hilarious. So I started off on a separate canvas, just sketching out all the little details, all the coffee cups and the takeaway cups and the bags of coffee and jars, and yeah, all the little bits and bobs that will be added to the full art scene. And I try and do this first rather than just drawing the scene, because as part of the goodie box I also do other items other than the full art, like sticker sheets and stuff, so it makes sense to keep the items separate to make it easier to do that. So now I've transferred to the separate canvas that is a landscape one, and there's Peaches. I copied her in to make sure I got proportions and the shape of her face and everything right, and then I started drawing in the other details. So this is when I copied things across, all the like the cups and everything. And Peaches is a fan of the great outdoors. She is prone to going on many a camping trip, so out of her window is the stream that she likes to camp by, and later you'll see Beatrice the bee is like having a little nosy through the window as well. But yeah, I'm sketching all the details here, copying them across, and then some of them I'm amending slightly, like that bag of coffee. And then I decided to add fauna, so I just copied her across to get her proportions again right. But it's a back view of fauna because she's sat on one of the stalls and enjoying a delicious hot chocolate with cream on tops. So once I've done this, sketched it all out, I then do a line art. If you're interested, I use the brush called Monoline, I think it's called, on Procreate, and I have it so it's saved at a set thickness. There's like a preset thing you can do at the side, so I've done that so that all my line art is always the same thickness. So I sketch out in, like, I think it's called fuzzy pencil, blue or pink normally, and then I do the line art in black with the monoline because that is like quite crisp lines. And then I start blocking in the colours. I do this on multiple different layers, like the base colours, just so if things are next to each other, they're not on the same layer, ready for adding clipping masks for the shading and everything later. So you'll see that in a minute, but I'm just blocking out the colours. The jars in the window, I was faffing about with for ages because I didn't want the colour of the things in the jars to have this like blue, but I wanted it to look like it was glass, the rest of it. So I ended up rubbing out where the coffee and matcha and everything is, and then I turned the opacity down of the light blue layer so it was like see-through to the background layer that is white underneath. Like the very base layer of the Procreate document is white. And then I don't know if you can see, but I then add a layer as a clipping mask on top of the line art, which has the colours, so it colours in the line art. So I then go over the colour of all of the things. Is that what I'm still doing? I can't tell what I'm doing. There we go. Yes, I am. I'm adding the colours to there. So I normally do that. Yeah, I add the line art of so it's the colours that are normally just a shade or two darker than the base colour, but sometimes I need to darken it up a little bit more because when I've added the shading and texture in, the line art looks paler, so sometimes I have to adjust it slightly. Yeah, so that can take quite a while, especially when there's a lot of details next to each other that are different colours. But then I use a brush called, I think it's called Jeebus Take the Wheel. I think that's what it's called. I have recently started using this brush and I love it. It's got like a little bit of like pencil crayon texture, I think it is. It just adds a bit of texture to it. So I've added some shading under Peaches and the coffee cups and stuff on the counter, and then I'm just doing fauna now. And then I took forever doing fauna because I was trying to add fur texture to the back of her head, but then yeah, I just undid it in the end and then just went back to the normal shade. I was trying to make it look like a head, like so you could tell the shape of her head without it looking too too bulbous, I suppose. But yeah, I've added some texture with that, and then I go in and do all the texture on all the little details, like the coffee cups and the bags of coffee and the jars and the tree and all the little details and bits and bobs that make up the background elements of the illustration. And then I make a start on Fauna's jumper, add the shading and everything on there, and then try and pick where the shadows and add a couple of shades darker, because I think the Jeepers Take the Wheel brush is pressure controlled, so if you press on harder or go over the same area, it like builds it up, and then you can like blend out the shading a bit with the pressure and choosing different shades of the same colour, so it's got like not a severe edge where the shadow would end, it like blends out. Does that make sense? But yeah, just like the control that you get with the Jeepers Take the Wheels brush and the texture, it's like a double win-win. I can't remember what brush I used. I think I got rid of it in the end anyway, but I started adding a texture to the wall to try and make it look different to the counter. Then I just faff about a little bit and add a few more shadows. But yeah, that is the nearly finished piece. I just need to add the menu listed now. I wrote that on myself with the fuzzy pencil, I think. There we go, writing them all on. I did Google coffee shop menu items, so I included things that I don't normally have, so nothing was excluded. But yeah, that is the final artwork. I hope you love it all. This was, at the time I did this was my favourite artwork I have created, but I've since started working on the February artwork for Patreon, and just from the sketch I think this one might be my favourite now. But at the time I did this was my favourite, and I am very proud of it, and I hope you love it too. Let me know any themes suggested that you would think you would like to see in the future. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up so I know to create more of this type of content. But it is a bit of a shorter one from me, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.